like what is contributing to the rate of marriage?
Well, like the idea that you will not settle for anything less than perfect.
Because she's a marriage therapist, this is something I wanted to bring up. And you talked about the real reason why marriages don't work. And they kept talking about, you remember all the other excuses you came up with? Can you bring up those real quick?
The real reason why marriages don't work is because there's a lack of desire. There's a lack of genuine desire.
Yeah, but you brought up one other thing about something to do with that.
What specifically did I say?
You said
I say a lot of things.
You said because people are overweight.
It was in relation to an article that I had been reading. Why men and women? Why are there sexless marriages? Like right now, I think the stat was like 27% of marriages in the United States are sexless, meaning that the couple has sex 10 times or fewer in a year. So that's like less than once a month, basically, is what it comes down.
Do you think that that's because the attraction has declined in the
lack of genuine desire, but primarily, like, so every damn article that has anything to say about this says the same thing. Oh, it's because of stress. Oh, it's because he doesn't do enough chores around the house. They all ignoring the 800-pound gorilla in the room, which is obesity rates are through the roof, and nobody wants to have
75% of the people in this country
and
are overweight.
That's a biological thing. Nobody wants to have, if you don't get to the arousal thing, if the arousal isn't there, of course it's going to decline. So it's like staying in shape. I remember what you were saying before. I think it was on the show that you did with Mike. When couples come together, if they already are like gym rats already to begin with, like my wife is very, very thin, very slender, very good looking for her age, right? Because it's not because we are like, we do it for each other. I go to the gym and everything because I like sex too much to let myself get fat, okay? But the thing is like, it's a genuine desire on her part. She's always been into physical fitness. She's always been, taking very good care of herself. And it comes down to like, well, I want to stay in shape for my husband. It's the glue that keeps the relationship together.
I'm not going to disagree with you, but I will piggyback, or I'm going to say it doesn't start there though. I think I don't think that that's the number one reason why marriage fails. I think that it's a big reason why marriage, why it doesn't work.
I was talking about sexlessness, so.
Okay,
and
just
then
the sex in the
sexlessness
marriage?
then leads to divorce. Yeah.
Well, I guess if you're just talking about why the sex declines, would that be probably a number one factor? I would actually agree with you on that. But I don't think that that's why marriage fails, though.
Why do you think marriages fail?
I think people pick the wrong person. I think that a lot of people get into relationships where they weren't really like women. Women pick partners a lot of times because of scarcity, a fear that their clock is ticking, okay? And they will pick by what is available or security or whatever, and that gets them into a relationship a lot of times that they're not happy or satisfied in, and then 30 years later they're getting divorced, okay, or whatever. Or, so people, and guys will do the same things. They might hook up with somebody that they're super sexually attracted to, but doesn't have some of the other qualities that would maintain that relationship. And let's say the looks drop off, well, then that relationship drops off, okay? So the aging affects what that relationship, does long term. So most people are not picking from a place of genuine connection or love. And I think you need connection, attraction, all of these things for a successful relationship. And a lot of people don't pick from that place. They pick from a place of fear. So that's the number one reason why I think relationships or marriages don't succeed.
Okay, so first off, a few stats here. The average age of first marriage in the United States for men is 29 or 30 right now, and I believe it's 28 to 29 for women, somewhere in that range. In Western Europe, it's way later than that. We're talking like in 34, 36 in some cases, depending on the country right now. The rate of marriage in the United States is 5.1 per 1,000. It is the lowest it has ever been since they started recording it. Again, is it settling, or is it the idea that, is it this unrealistic expectations, unrealistic goals? I hear this all the time. I'm not going to settle for anyone less than perfect. Steph was just saying a minute ago.
That's actually not what she's saying. She's saying that I want love and I want connection.
But are you willing to compromise certain aspects of that to get to that? Because there's plenty of guys in the chat right now who would love to wife you up. I guarantee it. Guys, put a 1 in the chat if you would wife her up.
A lot of people have wanted to marry, but there was other things lacking from it that I didn't want that. So it's not like I can't get married.
Why did you turn them down? What was the most common thing?
Well, I want a stronger connection. I maybe wasn't attracted fully to where I wanted to be with them. I want desire. I want lust. I want romance. I want you to be loyal. I want to trust you. Like there's a million other things, but a lot of the things you guys are saying, it's like money, whatever. It's not usually. I want security and I want someone that's doing better than me because I struggled my whole life.
Does a guy have to have all of those criteria met for you to want to say, okay, I'll get with this guy and not feel like I'm settling, not feel like I'm compromising?
No, one of the main things is though how I feel with somebody and like the connection. That's the main thing.
What goes into the connection though? Like what contributes to that for you?
Spending time together, their interest in my life, making me laugh. Like spending time together is one of the main things in communication.
Attraction qualities.
And the interest in me, because I've easily lost interest
Curiosity.
in people that had every other thing, but they just weren't communicating. And
I think the number one complaint that guys have right now is exactly what you're saying, is that like women are too entitled. They have an overblown sense of self and an overblown ego, and they believe that they are entitled to a percentage of men, again, who are the high value guys and nothing else will do. And they would rather die alone and single than not get with Justin Waller.
No, but that's the thing. That's why girls go around dating.
Share that guy either directly or indirectly.
Well, like if you're not interested for whatever reason, it won't be a match anyway. Like you shouldn't settle or compromise your standards no matter what, or settle because it won't work long term because you're.
Do you think that is contributing to the rate of marriage right now?
Like what is contributing to the rate of marriage?
Well, like the idea that you will not settle for anything less than perfect.
Well, I don't think anybody's saying that though. We're not saying less than perfect. Like we're actually saying
you just said an ideal match. You said that was one of the reasons why marriages don't work is because they selected the wrong person, or they compromised, or they settled on the wrong guy.
But that's not that. And I don't think that you ever have to lower your standards ever. And if you find yourself lowering your standards, you're not going to be a match for whoever that person is. You just won't be because something isn't there. There's not a connect. And so like you might not have to lower your standards, but you want to make sure that whatever you do want, you'll be a match for that person.
Which is why when I tell women, how do I find a man? I'm 36, I've done everything by the book, I've got my career, I've got everything on point, I need a guy who's my equal. And they find that the guys who are their match, their ideal match, don't want to have anything to do with them, because now those guys are in a position of sexual selectivity, and they're not selecting those women. They're selecting women who are far younger than those women are, and are more in touch with their feminine, are more nurturing, would make good mothers. And so I'm dealing, and maybe you guys will see this as well at some point, dealing with a generation of women who, because if I say, get in touch with your feminine, I just said it sounds like I'm saying dumb yourself down. It also sounds like I'm saying compromise, go for the good enough guy. And right now that's like the cardinal sin in girl world, is to tell a woman that she needs to settle for less, because hypergamy doesn't work that way. It's like it doesn't seek its own level. It's always looking for the bigger and better deal. So not only does it go against women's innate nature, it also goes against the cultural narrative, which is you're a queen, go get what you can get, you go girl kind of thing.
Yeah.
And if
you go girl,
at least as far as my understanding. So here's my take on this, my observations on this, is that the reason why we have such a low divorce rate is because we have such a low marriage rate right now. And the reason why we have such a low marriage rate is not because men aren't taking responsibility. It's because we have these unrealistic ideas of what is going to be the ideal mate for us and what is not. So when we have these, nothing better than Brad Pitt or Justin Waller will do. And so therefore, if I can't have that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to schedule my life and mold my life and create my life to the point where I am the man that I wanted to marry in the first place, because that guy's not forthcoming. But I still need long-term security. How am I going to get that? I'm either going to get that from the state, or I'm going to get that from outside influences, or I'm going to be able to do it myself, which means I got to start my own business. I got to have my Instagram on point. It's the funnel marketing kind of thing. And so the aspect of long-term security is no longer something that you go and look for in a partner. You look for it in yourself. And as a result, we see more and more women not married.
You're talking about dudes having their Instagram on point, right?